Went ahead and did one side of the cone. As you can see, all I've done is overlap, and then on the sides I actually have clipped it down all the way around, and then I bent the corners instead of cutting them off. You don't need to cut them off, it will help protect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the other side. As you can tell, it's empty. So a few minutes ago on the last video, we cut our next piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to twist it again so that it makes our cone. Now, it's not perfect, but by the time it gets in, sets, and we're able to secure it on all four corners, as you can tell, it does fit all the way across and it makes our cone. So now that I know that, I'm going to hold my two overlapping pieces where they were inside, and I'm going to make sure my hole's correct. So we'll take one of our zip ties, and where I'm holding it, we're going to go through two of the squares and then back through like this, and then we're going to put it together while still holding it, so that it doesn't spread apart. Sometimes it's, easy, sometimes it's a little more difficult, but the goal is to get it secured so it doesn't slide around. I'm working with little bitty zip ties, y'all. These are only 4-inch. All right, so we're gonna pull that tight. And then we want to do the other one that's back here, all the way down to the opening. So again, I'm going to take it through, and I'm actually going to come up through the second one here. I hope y'all can see me, and secure it. Now this is a great time to clean up the hole. So I'm going to put one more right here, and then we're going to work on cleaning up the hole and then putting the tape in. Now the tape, the reason I use the tape is, one, it makes a smoother entry hole, but the other thing it does, it also makes it black. And it's contrast, and all these fish like to get into dark spaces. So they smell food and then they see this dark area. It actually gives a little bit of an attractant, I believe. Now, as you can see on the inside, we have all these points. So we're going to take that corner and we're going to push it in. This is where your gloves come in handy. We'll leave that one out because it looks round, but now you can see what we have. Cut off the ends. And then I'm going to take my black tape, and I'm only going to do about 3 to 4 inches. And because you have angles in your hole, I cut a slit of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, like that. And then coming from the inside, I put the 2 slits inside, and then I'm going to secure the tape here first. And the reason I'm doing that is I want it as smooth as possible. So we're going to secure it in here. And then your little tails that you cut will go right around in the back. Secure them, push them down real well. And then you have a nice smooth entryway. You do this all the way around until it's nearly circular and it's easy to work with, and you're not going to cut your hands if something gets stuck in there. So we'll do the next side. This one's a little more difficult, skinnier. So pull it up inside, and then you've got the tags on the outside to taper down so it's nice and tight. See how our hole is starting to shape up? Now we'll take one and do it on both of the other sides. Well, that almost hurt. And just so you know, this is 100-mile-an-hour military style tape. It actually is designed for high speed. It maintains its shape, and it's ultra sticky. So 100-mile-an-hour tape, military tape, a lot of different names for it. Gorilla tape is another one. All right, so hole shaping up. All right, now we're going to put one little mini piece over that last little section, and we're done. All right, now it's time to put this thing inside of our pot. So flip your pot over. And then we're going to take and set it right down inside. Make sure that all of the sides touch. And I do the smaller sides first with our zip ties. So I go ahead and secure the top in about 4 places, and then I'll bend down the excess around the outside. So that'll hold everything in place. All right, got one there. Now we need to pull it a little bit this way. Stick it through there. I try to catch 2 squares on both sides. Okay. Got this side. And the 4th one. Now, I have caught a lot of pinfish with these traps. I actually do 2 different styles of tops. I do one where I make a tunnel. The tunnel works because only certain fish can go through the tunnel, which is the first one that I showed you that has the tunnel. You can see inside, it's nice and long in here. Do you see it moving? And then it's got a slotted tunnel. That slotted tunnel for pinfish is excellent also for the drum. This one takes a little bit longer to build, but it's worth it. All right, now that I've got almost all 4 sides tied down, and we're about to do the last part. And that is bend all these pieces down and shape it up the best we can. And that's going to be tight. So, all right, we've got all 4 sides. And now I'm going to take the corners and I'm just bending them down so that they are over and holding on to your pot. You don't have to zip tie these down out here. I do, just because it's less things to get hung up on. And there's the last bend. We cut our tags off. Now, you can throw more zip ties in here if you wish. It's completely up to you what you feel is necessary. And the next time I'll show you guys how to do the tube style. But I wanted to show the cone method first. Your holes do not have to be perfectly round. They can be oblong shaped. That actually helps with the fish not getting out. And then the last thing, on the opposite side of your seam, here's a seam that we made to start with. On the opposite side, right dead in the center, cut you a square, approximately 4 by 4. Trim it up. You can put tape on it if you wish, and then you'll cut a larger piece and you'll Velcro it. Here's one that I've done. Not Velcro, zip tie. So all I'm using is this to hold this in place. There's my hole. It's 4 inches. Like I said, you can tape around it because you're going to be putting your hand in here sometimes. But this is where you drop your bait. This is where you dump your fish. On this portion here, the lid, all I've done is take zip ties and made hinges out of them. You can do 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter how many. It's up to you, as long as they're on a single rod for both. Then all I do is pull it tight, and then I use bungee cord, real small, tiny bungee cord. And this one's kind of big, but it'll give you the idea. And then I'll hook it at about halfway down the side, and then that's what I use to hold it in place. All right, folks, that's how you do a DIY, do it yourself. Fish pots, pinfish, mud minnows, and eels, and other bait you can catch in these pots. Just remember, whatever your species you're looking for and the size is the size mesh that you'll go for. Thank you very much. That concludes